they actually gained a little bit extra muscle. So yeah, it doesn't take that much to maintain your muscle, which is good news when the gyms are closed. Hey, it's Christopher from AweAesthetics. I'm back again with another video, this time to discuss whether or not you will lose all your gains, all your muscle during this special time we are in right now with the coronavirus, where a lot of stores and such are closed, and of course also the gyms, so you can't go to the gym and work out. So many of you are probably wondering whether or not you will lose all your gains and how much it takes to maintain your muscle and so on. And I'll just say that, yeah, you will probably lose all your gains and all your strength, most of it, because it goes away very quickly, like, yeah, in no time. So it sucks, but that's the way it is. What? And you probably guessed that was sarcastic. Of course, you will be able to maintain all your muscle mass and even gain muscle during this time. It's actually very interesting. It really doesn't take that much to maintain your muscle. I found some studies that we are going to talk about in a minute that shows that it really doesn't take that much to maintain your muscle. So that's very, very good news, I think. And you'll see just in a second. But first, to build muscle, it doesn't matter if you can't go to the gym. You know, bodyweight and calisthenics can be just as effective. Personally, I love doing bodyweight training and calisthenics. I really enjoy it. And if you follow the same basic principles, you'll still maintain and gain muscle. So, you know, train hard, do progressive overload, stimulate the muscles, eat a great diet, eat healthy, and eat optimal amounts of protein, and of course rest, sleep well, get your recovery, and then you will be able to maintain and even gain muscle during this time. Okay, so the first study we're going to talk about was a 48-week study with 70 participants, where they split them up in two groups, a younger group and a little older group, the young group from 20 to 35 and the older group from 60 to 75. And in the first 16 weeks, they resistance trained 3 times a week, where they expectedly gained muscle and strength. And then in the remaining 32-week period, they did a maintenance period. And then after that maintenance period, they compared the two groups, the younger group versus the older group, and then looked at how well they had preserved their muscle mass and their strength. And the results showed that they did 2 kinds of maintenance phases. One where they did 1/3 of the original work in the first 16 weeks, where they resistance trained 3 times a week, and one where they only did 1/9 of the original work. And the results showed that in both the group where they did 1/3 of the work and where they did 1/9 of the work, they maintained their muscle mass in the younger group. The older group did not maintain their muscle mass in either maintenance phase, and it goes to show that the older you get, the more it takes to maintain your muscle. But it's still pretty good news and pretty interesting that in the young group they maintained their muscle mass while only doing 1/9 of the original work they had done to gain that muscle and strength. And even in the group where they only did 1/3 of the original work, that maintenance group, they actually gained a little bit extra muscle. So yeah, it doesn't take that much to maintain your muscle, which is good news when the gyms are closed. And strength-wise, both groups maintained their strength until the very end of the study, so that is also very good news and goes to show that you can maintain your strength for a long time too, with very little work. The next study we're going to talk about was a 6-month study, a 24-week period, where they had 14 young men. So it's not a very big sample size, but the results are still very interesting. So they split them up into 2 groups. So both groups resistance trained 3 times a week where they did high intensity bench press with 75% of 1 rep max, 3 sets of 10 reps. And then one group trained continuously over these 6 months, these 24 weeks, and the other group trained for 6 weeks, then detrained for 3 weeks, then trained for 6 weeks, then detrained for 3 weeks, and so on. And at the end of the study, both groups had gained similar amounts of muscle mass. They had similar increases in muscle hypertrophy. And that, to me, again, is very interesting and very good news. And it goes to show that you can actually get away with a lot of weeks of not training at all, detraining, and then in the long run still gain similar amounts of muscle as the ones who train continuously. And I'm not saying do that, or you can, it's up to you. I'm just saying that you can be pretty flexible with your training, and it's not all black and white, and that you won't lose your gains just like that when you stop training. Okay, so the last study we're going to look at today was a study where 13 participants performed 18 sessions of unilateral elbow flexion with either no load or high load, 70% of 1 rep max. And at the end of the study, the results showed similar increases in muscle thickness between the no load and the high load. And this goes to show that you don't necessarily need external loads to induce muscle growth, provided that there are enough muscle fibers being activated, and previous studies have also shown this. So that was it for today. I really hope you got something valuable out of it, and that it gave you some insight in the fact that it really doesn't take that much to maintain your muscle, and that most people also will be able to gain muscle during this time. So be sure to like the video if you like it, and also follow me on my other social media accounts, Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok. And I do training and nutrition coaching, so of course write me if you want me to help you with that. And I will see you all in the next video.